All right, this meeting will come to order. Welcome, everyone. The mayor is traveling, but she is joining us virtually, as is Councilmember Willits. Madam Mayor, I would just like to note that we did finish work session ahead of schedule, despite council's frustration with my many questions to Public Works. But just wanted
Well
to.
done, well done.
We will start the meeting with a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All righty, clerk, will you please call the roll?
Corliss.
Here.
Halliburton. Morales.
Here.
Nash.
Here.
Stead.
Here.
Willits.
Here.
5 present, 1 absent.
Okay. Next up, we have minutes. I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move approval of the minutes for the work session and regular meetings of March 4th, 2025.
Councilmember Corliss, can you do some seconds?
I second the motion.
All right, clerk.
Morales.
I'll be abstaining. I wasn't here.
Nash.
Yes.
Stead.
Yes.
Willits.
Yes.
Corliss.
Yes.
4 in favor, motion carries.
Okay. Next up, we have special business. We're going to reorder these a little bit. First, we'll consider the appointments, and then we will consider the revised reason for decision on the Mario application, fourth in special business. So first, we have the reappointment of Jill Giese to the Development Impact Fee Advisory Committee for a 4-year term expiring March 1st, 2029.
Mr. Mayor, I ask unanimous consent for the reappointment of Jill Giese to the Development Impact Fee Advisory Committee for a 4-year term ending March 1st, 2029.
Any objection? It's so ordered. I think Jill's with us. Jill, would you like to say anything? You can come up to the mic if you'd like. You don't have to.
I think this is my 4th 4-year term. And it's just an honor to be involved in city business. And it's just kind of cool to watch how the parks have grown and everything we've been able to do to green it up. It was pretty cool to participate in the purchase of the last section of the greening up of the last section of the green belt that wasn't developed. So it's just been a great opportunity to see how things work from the inside. So I appreciate the reappointment.
Yeah, thank you. I think we had several vacancies on that. So I appreciate you being willing to do that again. Thank you so much.
Mr. President, I'd just like to thank Jill as well. The committee she serves on requires a lot of hard work. It could be a little dry, and the fact that you keep at it, and as you said, you've seen a lot of change over the years, but that you keep coming back, I really appreciate it. Thank you, Jill.
All right, next up, we have the reappointment of Alicia Minicello.
Mr. Mayor, I ask unanimous consent for the reappointment of Alicia Minicello to the Building Code Board for a 4-year term ending March 1st, 2029.
Any objection? It is so ordered. I don't think Alicia's here with us or online. Okay. Next up, we have the reappointment of Craig Brasher.
Mr. Mayor, I ask unanimous consent for the reappointment of Craig Brasher for the Building Code Board for a 4-year term ending April 1st, 2029.
All right. Any objection? Okay, it is so ordered. Craig, you here with us? Nope. Okay. All right. Next up, we have CAR 21-22 and ZOA 21-2, also known as Mario Farms. David?
Thank you. Mayor, members of the council, the item before you is the revised reason for decision and conditions of approval for the Mario Farm specific plan annexation. These applications were heard and approved by the City Council back on November 12th, 2024. And at that hearing, Council directed the Planning Development Services team to return with revised findings. The memo before you includes the revised findings and conditions, which were based on Council's direction from that hearing. If the Council agrees with the revised reason statement and conditions, then the PDS team recommends that they be approved. Thank you.
Okay. I entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move, well, I'll first say, although I did not approve the application, I do move approval of the revised reason statement for CAR 21-22 and ZOA 21-2 as presented by staff, and state that it actually accurately reflects the discussion and decision of council on these items.
I'll second the motion.
All right, council discussion. All right, I got some things. Okay. I just want to recognize to the Magrudio family. I know this has been a long time coming. You've done a lot of work with the city on this, and we appreciate your willingness to share your property with the city and let it be part of the city, and hopeful that this can be home to it's a beautiful design that we have, and look forward to future decisions as we approve these phases and letting people have a home here. So thank you for that. I'd also like to thank staff for all the hard work that's gone into this. David, finance team, mayor's staff. This is a pretty heavy lift last year. A lot of back and forth, a lot of trying to make this work in a way that it's kind of difficult with a hand that the legislature has dealt us with only being able to bring 90% new construction onto the rolls. Within this, I just want to point out a couple of these conditions in here. The first one I want to draw attention to is the number 9. The applicant shall pay $2 million towards the city's mitigation costs related to the proposed Orchard Street realignment payable before the issuance of building permits for phase 5. We took the Orchard realignment off of our 5-year work plan when we could not reach an agreement with ACHD for that project. It would be my expectation that this funding, should it come through from the applicant, that would it would mitigate those concerns to the point where we could reprioritize this project and put it back on the 5-year work plan. So just wanted to put that on the record. Additionally, I want to talk about item number 17. That's the Magrudio site. I did a lot of work on this in the last week, and I know more about impact fees than I care to know now. And I think there's some opportunities for us to work with staff to realize this. Some of the considerations right now that we have is for fees to be collected for regional park in this area, we'd probably have to reevaluate what's in code regarding the maps for the regional parks. Also, it brought to my attention some issues related to local park impact fees. For example, there's a lot of development happening right now in the airport district, but we are not collecting any local park impact fees there because there are no parks in that district. I think there's an opportunity to look at the impact that development is having on surrounding areas. A lot of the people that will work in the places around the airport will live in places nearby, and they need places to have green and open space as well. So my ask here would be to direct staff to work with council on proposals related to how we can see this condition through. I do want to set expectations about the Magrudio site. After a full build out of this, which is supposed to take place over 20 years, we would realize from regional park impact fees about $5 million. That's really not enough to build out a full park, and it's a very long time as well. So I just want to set expectations with the public about what this money could mean. It's a step in the right direction towards realizing what Magrudio Park could be, but it's a far cry from developing the full park. So I just want to set those expectations. I also want to thank the mayor's office. I was working with the mayor on this as recently as Friday, and just want to thank her for her leadership and helping us get to a place that was consistent with what we had talked about in the meeting, but also helpful for the city and making sure we're setting expectations about what we can actually accomplish there. So I want to pass along that thanks. I don't think I have anything else on this. Councilmember Corliss, did you have something?
Yeah, Madam Mayor. Just a couple of comments. I appreciate this development up here. I mean, it's one that's in my mind has gone through a lot of reiterations over several years. In full transparency, I was not supportive of this up to 5 years ago because it really seemed it was at the really outskirts edge of town. It didn't add a lot of, if you will, amenities or opportunities for the residents that lived out there. And I think the thoughtfulness of this coming forward with the work of several people, the mayor's office, Council President Nash, and others to see this where we can come together and find a compromise, such as adding some affordable housing like we see in number 8, why 3% doesn't seem much. This is a really affordable housing is a need within the city. This provides for this. We know we need single family homes. This is a large area of town. One of the largest areas that can have this number of single family homes. The McGurdios have worked through many iterations. I appreciate, and I know I'm not saying your last name correctly. I apologize. I appreciate your continued work with the city of Boise on this. This will allow a stepping stone also to that regional park, which has been talked about for many years out in that area, which is desperately needed. Several residents out there that have looked at this land, and it provides nice open space that's being farmed today, but it also, there's a big need for residents to have pathways and for their children to have places to play. And while Council President Nash correctly stated that the $5 million in impact fees will not build out an entire park, it'll be a nice way to start building that park if we don't do it ahead of time. I appreciate the mayor's office. I especially appreciate the mayor for her continued support of parks and Southwest Boise and us making this happen to be able to provide a lot of homes for future generations. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
I'd also just like to extend a lot of thanks and actually go all the way back to prior council members that really kind of set this, or and staff that really set this into motion. I've had the pleasure of going out and hanging out in the Boise subdivision, that first kind of piece to this property, and it's full of great families, retired folks everywhere in between, places where people are enjoying living. But this area does lack a lot of amenities and services and resources that other neighborhoods in Boise have. And I'm grateful for the forethought to say, hey, let's look at this property as a whole and how we can build it out better, akin to those neighborhoods that everyone wants to live in, the Bound Crossings and the Harris Ranch and the Hyde Park area, those kinds of things. And I really think that it got hit out of the park. It really checked a lot of those goals of the modern zoning code. And so I want to thank all of the prior council members and staff that have kind of worked on this, and for the McGurdio family for taking this adventure, taking that first step, because I'm sure you probably couldn't have anticipated what the entire journey would look like up until now. But it really is exciting. This is probably one of the more exciting things that I was able to do over my first year here on council. And I'd just like to call out, talking about some of those services that residents in our city just don't have in that area. Talking about adequate emergency response, and that we're getting closer to be able to provide that in an area that needs it, and as a city to be able to add the resources that we already need. This is going to be a critical piece for that. I was very moved by testimony from Habitat for Humanity, their excitement to be able to participate in this project and how limited they are in home sites in Boise. Not a lot of work going on here, and how exciting it is for them to be able to do that for generations to come. And also just the creativity and thinking about what this area could look like in generations to come from a public transportation piece. This is very creative opportunity to help provide additional revenues to an agency that, unlike most states, doesn't have a lot of revenue streams, and how this community is banding together to provide a little bit of that, so that in the future we can continue to get people where they want to be easily, and a lot less stress. I'll tell you that, on a bus. And then obviously, in addition to Orchard Street realignment, Lake Hazel extension, there are just so many pieces that this project touches. And I'm just really grateful for all the many staff interagencies that have participated in helping provide the full ecosystem of support that a healthy, safe community should have. And our current staff for working through this. I know we created a lot of work. I know we asked a lot of questions. And I hope I don't ask as many questions as I asked that first meeting when this came before us, because I felt like it was a lot. That's probably my personal record. But I just really appreciate everyone for coming together to work on this, and super excited to be able to approve these revised findings. Thank you.
All right, before we call a final roll call on this, I just want to point out one more thing on number 17, a couple other things that came to my attention that I just want to direct staff on. In order for us to accomplish this, we're going to have to take a look at the capital improvement plan. So we asked staff to come back with something related to that, in addition to looking at those fee districts. And then additional issue I want to raise is we stopped collecting park impact fees in Southwest Boise, or Southwest Ada County, unincorporated Boise there in 2022 because of a lapsed agreement that was dated back to 2006. I think the residents of this part of town would like to have an amenity there, and I think new development out there can be asked to pay for it. So that's something that I'd like to revisit with the county as well. So with that, I'd like to do roll call.
Morales,
Yes.
Nash,
Yes.
Stead,
Yes.
Willis,
Yes.
Corliss.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, folks. All right, next up, consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I move approval of the consent agenda.
I second the motion.
All right, any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to call out a couple of points on the agenda here. We offer a program with between Parks and Rec and the Capital City Public Market, as well as the Boise Farmers Market, so that SNAP funds spent at those markets are matched. So your dollar is twice as good at those markets with SNAP funds. I think that's such an important piece. You know, it's not sometimes shopping with small batch makers or local farmers can cost a little bit more than mass produced food. And there's tremendous value in it. And I really appreciate the city's program that allows those markets to carry that match for folks. I think it makes it really accessible and probably even more affordable than it would be in a mass market.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, clerk?
Morales,
Yes.
Nash,
Yes.
Stead,
Yes.
Willis,
Yes.
Corliss.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
All righty. No ordinances on the agenda tonight, so we're moving right into new business. We have a subdivision with the consideration of SUB 24-56 visionary subdivision. Jesse?
Mr. Mayor and council members, good evening. The item before you is SUB 2456. This is a preliminary plat for an industrial subdivision comprised of 8 buildable lots on 30.4 acres located north of Innovator Road and east of Pleasant Valley Road in the I-1 AIO zone. The property is located in Council District 4. The applicant proposes to subdivide an existing lot into 8 buildable lots and construct a new north-south public roadway. The subject property is undeveloped and surrounded by other large undeveloped properties, with the parcels to the north and east being owned by Boise Airport and the parcels to the south and west owned by the state of Idaho. The subject property is located within the airport planning area, and the Boise Airport Master Plan identifies the area east of Pleasant Valley Road as a location for an additional future runway, and that would be north of the subject property. The subject property is also located within Airport Influence Area B, which prohibits residential usage as well as other noise-sensitive development. A previous approval to the east along Innovator Road required the installation of roadway improvements, and that was seen before you earlier or last year, I guess. The subdivision before you will be constructing the new north-south roadway and will be responsible for innovative road improvements west of the intersection, including the installation of the identified multi-use pathway. So in conclusion, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Jesse, can you go back to the, yeah. Where's the access point on the corner? Too soon?
Mr. Mayor, council members. So the application that we saw earlier was in that kind of cutout square. And we talked about access and parking and other things. This is for a subdivision with other development to be done in the future, and all that will be taken care of then.
Okay. No questions? Entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move that SUB 24-56, a request for preliminary plat for an industrial subdivision comprised of 8 buildable lots on 30.4 acres located on parcel S1032484420 in an I1 AIO light industrial with airport influence overlay zone be approved, subject to the recommendation conditions of approval outlined in the staff report.
I second the motion.
All right, before we have any discussion, I forgot to have a public hearing. So, is the applicant here? You in agreement with the terms and conditions? Okay, providing the staff report. Is there any members of the public here that wish to testify? Anybody online? Okay, with that, we'll close the public hearing. Nope, go ahead. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I think this is a great project for this part of town, and industrial is something that's great for our economy and great for the city. Usually it comes with jobs behind it, so hopefully we see that. But I appreciate the applicant bringing the opportunity forward.
Looking forward to future hearings on this. Okay, clerk, please call the roll.
Morales,
Yes.
Nash,
Yes.
Stead,
Yes.
Willetts,
Yes.
Corliss,
Yes.
all in favor, motion carries.
All right, this brings us to public hearings. We have one item. It's the year that council sits as the Board of Corrections for the Boise City Municipal Irrigation System. John from Public Works, take it away.
Madam Mayor, Council President, members of the council, good evening. My name is John Gunnarsson. I'm an engineer project manager for our Public Works Department. We are here this evening to allow property owners served by our Boise Municipal Irrigation District an opportunity to express any concerns or correct any problems with their assessment that has been sent. For additional context, the Boise Municipal Irrigation District, we operate 7 pressurized irrigation systems that serve irrigation water to 14 subdivisions. That equates to 375 lots. All of these subdivisions are located in West Boise, kind of the Fairview 5-mile area. In addition to these 7 subdivisions that we serve pressurized irrigation to, we also own 1 gravity lateral that serves irrigation water to an additional 29 properties, also located in West Boise. This irrigation water will typically become available in mid-April and last through mid-October. This year, for water year 25, the assessment rate remains unchanged at $935 per acre. A separate assessment has been sent out of $70 per lot for our gravity lateral users. This second assessment, the $70 per lot, is a $10 increase from last year to help cover the operation and maintenance costs to keep this lateral clear of obstructions and to continue flowing. So per state code, the city council acts as the board of directors for our municipal irrigation district. Tonight, you are sitting as the board of directors to allow property owners an opportunity to dispute their assessment or correct any errors. Assessments were mailed out to property owners in late February. The assessments have been received by property owners. Staff has not been notified and has no reason to believe that there are any errors in the 2025 assessment. So next, with your permission, the floor should be open to anyone who feels there is an error with their assessment. If there is nobody here tonight, it's recommended that you formally note that no corrections are needed. Thank you.
All right,
I'm
thank you,
available for any questions.
Thank you, John. Any questions for John before we open the public hearing? I've gotten a lot of constituent mail about this, so I expect a heated debate. Nobody online, nobody in person. You sure, Jill? Okay. All right. With that, we'll close the public hearing. And we are done for the evening. We'll see you all back here on March 25th.
Thank you.
I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Got a second?
Second the
that?
motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting's adjourned.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.